Let me start by two clear messages. First, to the United States and to Israel. It's high time to end this war that is risking to get completely out of control, causing immense suffering on civilians, and with propagation around the global economy that is really dramatic, with potential tragic consequences, especially for the least developed countries. Second message to Iran: stop attacking your neighbors. They were never parties to the conflict. The Security Council has condemned these attacks, has ordered them to stop, as it has ordered to open the Strait of Hormuz. The prolonged closure of the Strait of Hormuz causes enormous pain in so many peoples around the world that have nothing to do with this conflict. It's time for the force of the law to prevail over the law of the force. It's time for diplomacy to prevail over war.
Hello and welcome back to the Open Hour in this new episode from Mossadegh to Hormuz, how America's iron strategy on Iran went wrong. What if I told you that today's Israel-Iran-US confrontation did not begin with missiles? It began with a coup against one of Iran's most popular leaders. In 1953, the United States and Britain helped remove the democratically elected Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh after he nationalized Iranian oil. And from that moment, the West or the Western world may have won a battle, but set in motion a crisis that is still exploding today. Mossadegh was not a communist dictator. He was elected democratically, a hugely popular Iranian leader who dared to do one thing the West would not tolerate. That is, he nationalized Iran's most precious resource, oil. It challenged the British control. Britain was furious. The United States, under Cold War paranoia, joined in. The CIA and M16 ran Operation Ajax. Mossadegh was overthrown, and in his place, the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, became more dependent on Washington and London. For the West, it looked like a strategic victory. For millions of Iranians, it became a national humiliation. And that memory never died. The Shah ruled with an iron hand. He modernized, but of course, he suppressed fundamental freedoms. His secret police Savak became notorious. To many Iranians, the Shah was no longer a king. He was America's man in Tehran. Iranians could not tolerate the king. Then came 1979. The Islamic Revolution swept away the monarchy. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini returned from exile, and Iran transformed from a pro-Western monarchy into an Islamic republic, openly hostile to the United States and Israel. And then came the ultimate rupture, or the biggest problem, the US Embassy hostage crisis in Tehran. From Washington's point of view, Iran became the villain. From Tehran's point of view, America was simply getting a taste of what it had done in 1953. The Iran hostage crisis, November 4, 1979 to 20th Jan 1981, was a 444-day standoff when Iranian students seized the US Embassy in Tehran, taking 52 Americans as hostages. That was a global news. The Strait of Hormuz, the world's economic tripwire, This is the choke point that terrifies the world, the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway, which is hardly 22 kilometers, is one of the most strategic energy routes on Earth. Around 20 million barrels of oil a day move through it, roughly 1/5 of the global oil consumption, and about a quarter of the seaborne oil trade. And about 20% of the global LNG trade also passes through it. So if Iran threatens Hormuz, it is not just a Middle East problem. It becomes a global problem hitting every nation. It's a global inflation problem, an Asian energy problem, and a world markets problem, especially for countries like India, China, Japan, and South Korea. Now, how did the US calculations go wrong? Where did the US get this wrong? Or what was the miscalculation? First, there are 3 points here. First, in 1953, Washington helped destroy a democratic nationalist and strengthened a monarchy that many Iranians came to hate. This was against the spirit of democracy and the fundamental right to freedom. Second, the United States assumed that the Iranian regime's security would produce stability. Instead, the repression produced the Iranian Revolution of 1979. Third, it treated Iran mainly as a problem to be contained, sanctioned, isolated, or bombed without fully reckoning with how deeply history shapes Iranian strategic thinking. So where was the miscalculation? It all went wrong. The calculations went wrong. And now the United States may be finding that military pressure can weaken targets, but it can also harden nationalism, raise oil prices, destabilize allies, and drag Washington into conflicts it cannot fully control. This is the irony. This is the problem. America tried to shape Iran in 1953. More than 70 years later, Iran is still shaping America's Middle East crisis. For all those of you who are watching us, let's hope and pray that the Middle East crisis comes to an end so that the world can pray for peace and long for peace and have peace. This is Jan Phillips signing off for the Open Hour.